Alright. Souvik, thank you for being my subject for the interview.
It's a pleasure, man.
Yeah. So why don't you tell me something about your background, something from your childhood days?
Childhood days. Okay, so I was born and raised up in Calcutta, in India, which is in the eastern part. I'm a Bengali by heart and Indian by my passport.
Alright.
I grew up in a pretty neighborhood, and it was in the middle of town. But
So when you say pretty, can you define it for me?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Picturize.
When you picturize India, it's just a lot of slums and lots of people not wearing any clothes and running around. So
I don't think so.
yeah, so that's how they define it in the films. But
Yeah.
I think India is not like that. There are a lot of places which are actually beautiful and can give competition to a lot of other places in the world. So my neighborhood was pretty because it was in the middle of a large city, but we had a lot of trees and parks, swimming pools, ponds, lakes and stuff. So we had lakes
So
there.
is this like a society or is it like
No,
individual houses?
Yeah, it's individual houses. It's just a neighborhood in the city.
Okay.
So it was really pretty. So I grew up not only studying but also extracurricular activities. I was doing swimming, as you would know, and then I would do certain competitions. We had a lot of community activities going on. So I would be, I am a terrible singer, but I would sometimes sing.
Okay.
Elocution, that was something I was interested in, and then I would do quizzes. I was really into that kind of thing. You remember the Bonvita quiz competition which used to take place in India, where during the 1990s.
I remember.
Yeah, I came third in that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
So are you saying that if I go back and look up Bonvita quiz contest and write Souvik Das Gupta, I would actually find some videos of yours
Probably
doing funny stuff on?
Yeah, I was also there in one of the Doordarshan quizzes, and I came third there as well. So.
I think 3 is your lucky number then.
Yeah, 3 is my lucky number.
Alright. How many girlfriends have you had till now?
3.
That's all. Alright.
Yeah, 3 serious relationships. I'm not talking about the flings and all, but it was 3 serious relationships.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter now.
How long were they each?
I had one for 1.5 years. The most recent was around 2 years.
Okay.
And we just, separated before.
Okay. And what about the third one?
The third one was for 6 months. We really didn't go along really well.
Okay, because I'm just back calculating and trying to see how early you started getting in your relationships.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I got my first significant relationship was in high school when I was in class 11.
And you call that significant because when the way I see it as either infatuation or temptation.
Yeah, I mean it can be an infatuation, temptation. I mean love is an overrated word.
Yeah.
And being in a relationship is so what we understand right now is being in a relationship is a kind of a sacrifice for both parties to get in and make some sacrifice on both sides and stay together, gel together. But back in high school, love was a really good feeling and stuff. So yeah, I think it was
good feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that it was a serious and significant relationship because it was to the outside world we were together. Okay, you understand that because before that when you have crushes, well I have crushes now as well, you're aware. So
I'm very aware.
Yeah. Yeah. So the outside world doesn't know. But in that case we were together. People knew that we were together. So that's why I said it's a significant
So the question is, what were your takeaways from each of those relationships? Starting from high school.
Okay, I don't know where exactly this interview is headed, but
this is just heading towards something which makes you think a little more deeper, so that I get to know a little more about you. Probably someone who would have not questioned you on these lines. Alright, so I was initially planning to go ahead with asking about a couple of allocutions you would have taken and the topics you would have got, but then, personal is always the best level to connect with people.
Oh, okay. There are a lot of other personal topics as well, but okay. So if I look back,
only if you're comfortable talking. Otherwise, you can
I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable. So if I look back, firstly, I would not have those relationships because it was crazy stupid. Obviously, we were not competent with each other. That's why we're not together today.
Okay.
So yeah, some of the things is patience, and what I said, sacrifice.
Right.
So what I the most important takeaway for me from these relationships is that you don't get into a relationship expecting that the other person on the other side is going to do stuff for you. It's it's going to be tough with anyone you be in a relationship. It's about who's worth it.
Right.
That's my takeaway. Who's worth the suffering? Because there's going to be a suffering in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still have very diplomatically just answered overall. I still would like to know from each relationship what was your takeaway. So because, okay, just because you're not, so that you open up a little more, let me talk about my personal experience. So I was in a relationship for 21 months.
Yeah,
All right, and it was pretty much it was exactly 21 months.
Okay, so it was a planned separation.
Whatever. So in those 21 months, I realized that I could make people feel good about themselves. That was one. Number two, I had chivalry.
I think that's very important as well.
Number three, people who were outside my strong relationship area, so like my friends who lived around, they saw me as a really successful person and a person who takes care, a person who owns it, who if given responsibility will complete it and will really do it well. So these are the things which I realized when I was in a relationship, and when I got out of relationship I understood that I'm a really emotional person. I can break easily, but then I also realized at the same point of time that my family is my strength, and they supported me, they covered me with all the blankets of care they could, and that helped me revive really well and come back to where I am right now. So that is my learning from the one relationship I had.
You just had one?
I just had one.
You're lying in front of camera.
Well, I mean, I've had few things here and there, but nothing serious.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only serious thing I had.
Yeah, it's good. I even William Mary because you have been owning it all your life.
I mean, I guess that's why William and Mary chose me for sure, but then, yeah.
Did you write that in your...
Well, it specifically said don't write about personal stories because everyone has them. That's why I did not write about it, but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of my stories is about owning it, yeah. So back to you. Your takeaways from each of them.
One of my takeaways is that, so I still am a really hot-headed person.
Okay.
So you know the 5-second barrier you used to have in your...
Yeah, so why don't you explain to the audience what the 5 seconds barrier is?
So it's something like this. So if someone tells me something that is not as per my beliefs, I would take less than 5 seconds to erupt in emotions.
So basically whoever's around Souvik is supposed to count after giving him any pun or telling him anything which is probably offensive, you need to start counting 5 so that he cools down by then.
So yeah, it takes 5 seconds now. It was like instantaneous
a
few years back. So that's one of the takeaways that I had. We had a lot of problem in my last relationship just because both of us would lose it completely in, little things. And we would be bickering about things. 6 months into it, it was really good. We were having fun. We were complimenting each other, going out. But then, after 6 months, the characteristics turn coming out. Like whatever you cannot hide yourself as a person. So in a relationship, in a friendship, in a professional atmosphere, you can hide the true person that you are. Right? But when you are actually spending time with someone on a personal level, that inside person is going to come out. And the one thing that we did not compliment each other is that both of us were hot-headed. And yeah, that's one of my takeaways. I really try, to be patient these days. Sing a song in my head when I'm losing it, or try some other aspects. But yes, that is one of my takeaways. Be cool-headed. Try to be cool-headed, or at least try to to be silent.
Where do you think? Which is your most beautiful memory in high school?
Yeah, so I was talking about this particular. So 1 week into my high school, I was new there. It was an army public school in Calcutta. And I was chosen by the faculty to actually speak in front of 2,000 people and then get a shot at getting elected in one of the governing bodies of the school, right? And, the fun part of it is that I was told, we had assembly at 7:30 a.m. in the morning. And I was told at 7 a.m. that you're going to speak in front of 2,000 people.
Interesting.
Yeah. We were given a topic like if you are chosen in the student body, what would you do to actually improve and sustain the atmosphere in the school and improve the standards? So that's kind of a common topic which we had for the first year reps here in Mason as well. So yeah, in half an hour, I have never been that nervous in my life because doesn't matter whoever you are, you go and speak in front of 10 people,
Yeah.
you get nervous.
I understand.
Professor Stowers would
Absolutely.
admit that, right?
Yeah.
That's what he told us. You get nervous. And speaking in front of 2,000 people on something that are not prepared, you know what's something called an extempore, right?
Yep.
So having exposure to doing extempores previously in school, I had an one up on the other participants a little bit, but yeah, it was a really dreaded activity. I did not want to do it at that point of time, but I was selected, and I obviously had to do it because not doing it is just not the way to go. So I did it. I was really nervous. I went up and I spoke, and I was selected, and then I was like in the student body for 2 years, right?
Awesome.
And I'm really proud of myself that I actually took that leap, get out of my comfort zone.
Well, I think I connect with you there that I was also the part of student body. I was the head boy, and so when I went in class 11th, mine was the first batch to go in class 11th, so I was head boy in class 11th. And seeing my performance, they made me head boy again in class 12th. And yeah, I've had a lot of those moments where they would just ask me, pull me out of the class, and they would say, Shantanu, you're representing the school in another half an hour. This is the event, go ahead.
I loved it. I loved participating in the events. The only problem was that when you get into a new school, you don't know people that much well, and people will vote for you depending on how well you speak. And I think that's how leaders are made, just push them out of the comfort zone and then
see if they perform.
Yeah, if they come out, they'll do good.
Which is the most beautiful and memorable moment? And when I say this, you might not have had such a moment where you've actually had tears of joy.
Tears of joy?
Yes.
Well, I've had moments of tears of joy. But basically, so
just select one and take us to that place.
Okay, so tears of joy, basically, since childhood we've had some achievements. Everyone has achievements which are like memorable and cheerful and brings joy to themselves, their families, their friends. It might not be, the actual importance of the thing, because it might be a trivial thing like winning a competition somewhere, just local singing competition or dancing competition. That brings a lot of joy to the person who's doing it and the family and the friends. So that might bring tears of joy to the parents, to the person who's participating, something like that. So it varies,
So what's your moment?
So if I have to single out one moment, I would say I got my first job on my dad's birthday. And so I came from a really humble background. I'm the only engineer, like the first engineer in my family. And obviously the first person to come outside in the direct family, immediate family. Obviously my cousin is there in Chicago, but yeah, in my immediate family I was the only one. So it was a proud moment because from childhood I've seen my parents toil, I've seen their sweat and blood, just to make sure that I have a good life and I can complete my education, I can get up to college, I can become an engineer, and basically be whatever I wanted to be, right? I've seen my dad sacrifice, and then the thing is that when I was in class 1, he had a heart surgery, and ultimately he couldn't sustain it, and I actually lost him last year. But yeah, the thing is that after getting the surgery, he was not supposed to work, and I was just in class 1, so I was 6 years old. And instead of that, he put in the work, and he knew that he would not sustain his life. He could not increase the duration of his life. He knew that he would die probably 10-15 years earlier than others would, like for someone like a normal Indian would, right? But he put in the work. I've seen him struggle, blood, sweat, and then I became an engineer. I grabbed the first job that we had in college, and that was on his birthday, right? So that was the day I actually had, after struggling for 2 decades, finally I could see my father smile, right? So that actually brought tears of joy in my eyes, because I had finally done something to make my parents proud, right? And it was worth it. Like, I lost him last year. We all knew that he's not going to survive till 70 or 80, but we were at least expecting for him to survive till 60, 65, but he left us when he was 53. So yeah, it was kind of hard, but yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah,
but yes, that was one of the moments where I actually had tears of joy in my eyes. Yeah.
So you're very, very well put in the star format: situation, task, action, results.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're learning something at Mason.
Thank you. Yeah, I've come here to learn, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Become a better individual every single day.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, few fire rapid questions.
Rapid fire questions, you mean?
rapid fire
Yeah.
questions.
Mhm.
So I'm just developing my interview the way, on the
Sure,
fly. So
sure.
something which you love to eat.
Sweets. I'm a Bengali.
Okay. Place you want to visit wholeheartedly.
Switzerland.
Okay. Favorite color.
Favorite what?
Color.
Color? Red.
Alright. And okay, I think that's about it I have in the list.
Okay.
And so now you're supposed to tell me where all you think you connected with me in the past 15-20 minutes we have been having conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and whether you think I should change my style or how I should further develop my speaking skills so that I can
On
connect with the
camera, on
person.
record, I'm going to say all that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the whole purpose
that's
of
the
this.
whole purpose of the interview.
Yeah, I think you're like really easygoing. You make people comfortable. So when I was speaking, it was just a conversation. I was not even aware that a camera
Right.
is playing, you know.
Okay.
So I've done things in front of camera, so maybe I'm a little comfortable in front of the camera, right? So one thing that I missed out, I actually acted in one of the umbrella KC Pal. Are you aware of KC Pal umbrellas? No, I guess it's really
No.
famous in Bengal though.
I mean, I've lived in Bengal for 3 years.
Yeah, it's really famous in Bengal. So I acted in one of the ads
Okay.
as well. So it's kind of a trivial thing. So I've been doing in front of camera like from childhood, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, for you being an interviewer and learning this process, I think you're really easygoing and you make people comfortable, which is your positive side. And I would tell you to continue that because that's something that people need. When people come in for an interview, even if it's not recorded, people get nervous and you like have the stage fright, the camera fright and everything. So you make things really comfortable. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I could like on a personal level I could find a lot of connections with you.
Okay.
Right? Maybe because both of us are from India and you know both of us are in the same school doing our business studies, and since we have spent such a long time, you know, outside of school as well in our apartments and going together parties and everything, it was really good connecting with you. I really enjoyed doing this interview, and I can come back for a return interview maybe next year. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would really love that.
All right.
Mm-hmm. So I just want you to continue your good work. And
Is there any positive criticism?
positive criticism is that try not to cut out people when they're speaking.
Okay.
Sometimes, I'm not saying you didn't do it intentionally, it just happened, and sometimes maybe just talk less and let people do all the talking.
Okay.
When you're interviewing.
Okay.
When you're the interviewee, then do the opposite, right?
All right.
But it was a pleasure
All right.
conversing with you.
Pleasure was all mine.